She means more to me than anyone.
Any cat, you mean?
And person.
The Office's Angela Martin is the ultimate cat lady. A shadowy, mysterious figure in our society, the Catwoman has three primary forms in popular culture. The woman as cat.
Women who in jealousy or anger or out of their own corrupt passions can change into great cats like panthers.
The cat-like woman.
Meow.
And the crazy cat lady.
But can anyone who loves animals that much really be crazy?
Angela embodies all three. With her prickly, standoffish demeanor and aura of mystery, Dunder Mifflin's head of accounting has the personality of a cat inside a human body.
Is she cleaning the cat with her tongue?
Like a Catwoman, she exhibits a strange animal magnetism that entrances the men around her.
A duel! The winner gets Angela. Fine! Fine!
And on the crazy cat lady front, her cats aren't just her best friends.
She was my best friend.
They're family.
I mean, I usually try to take leave when I get a new cat, but I'm out of vacation days. And this company still doesn't recognize cat maternity.
Angela is a portrait of what it means to be a cat person. Not just to like cats, but to really be one in your soul.
Just a couple of kittens. Out on the town.
Her behavior becomes easier to understand when you use cat psychology to decode her motivations.
Did Roy ever kill one of your cats?
So here's our take on how Angela offers a guide on how to deal with the cat person in your life. Or if you're that cat person, how to better understand yourself. Before we go on, we want to talk about this video's sponsor. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can learn everything from video editing to business strategy, coding, or lucid dreaming. They offer thousands of online classes from famous teachers at the top of their field. And right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers 2 months access to all their classes for free. So click the link in the description below to sign up now. First, let's pinpoint what it is that makes a cat person. To do that, we have to go back to basics and identify what makes a cat.
Also, I'm pretty sure she coughed up a hairball.
H.P. Lovecraft once wrote, "The cat is such a perfect symbol of beauty and superiority that it seems scarcely possible for any true aesthete to do other than worship it."
Her hair looks beautiful.
Yeah, we get it, Phyllis. She looks like a freaking movie star.
As a cat person, Angela exemplifies this mix of elegance and smug self-satisfaction.
I actually look forward to performance reviews. I really enjoy being judged. I believe I hold up very well to even severe scrutiny.
The animal's innate air of superiority may explain why the ancient Egyptians revered their cats and depicted some of their gods with cat heads and features. Cats are always convinced they are in charge, and maybe they are.
Still want to take over the world?
Yes? Wait, no, I meant no!
Exceptional intelligence is a well-known cat trait evidenced in cat people, too.
My girlfriend is also beautiful and smart. She could be a model or a college professor, which is intimidating to a lot of guys.
As head of accounting, Angela clearly knows her stuff, and nothing gets past her. Her smarts can also be expressed in a more Machiavellian instinct for manipulation.
I'm taking his job.
Not now.
Cats are notorious for being fiercely independent.
Freedom is power. To live a life untamed and unafraid.
Angela epitomizes the cat's autonomy.
But don't expect any cookie.
But what if I'm hungry?
No cookie.
There's a historical reason for this. Cats have been our domestic companions for up to 12,000 years, but for a long time, they lived alongside humans, not with them. After humans started farming, cats made themselves useful by killing rodents and toned down their more aggressive behaviors as a kind of business arrangement so humans didn't chase them away. But domestication researchers have found that there's still not a major genetic difference between wild cats and domestic ones. So you might say cats are still, to a large degree, wild at heart. And we can observe this wild animal energy in Angela. She presents as pious and prim.
Sometimes the clothes at Gap Kids are just too flashy, so I'm forced to go to the American Girl store and order clothes for large colonial dolls.
But scratch the surface and she is neither of those things.
Where'd you get that kind of money?
I sold Andy's engagement ring on eBay.
What? You didn't give it back?
He wouldn't have wanted that.
So you might read her buttoned-up performance of religious virtue as an elaborate tactic to hide her animal nature.
You are an accountant, not a lingerie model.
The most remarkable thing about their history is that cats domesticated themselves, choosing to come into the homes of humans. Perhaps that's why they're deemed hard to win over. Cats will only form attachments when it's their decision, on their terms. Likewise, Angela's relationships have to move at her pace.
I know she loves me, Phyllis. I am sure of it. She practically told me so.
I've seen Angela naked 0 times.
What's more, a 2015 study showed that cats do not need their owners.
Unlike Cat here, we're a couple of no-name slobs. We belong to nobody, and nobody belongs to us. We don't even belong to each other.
According to Celia Haddon, the author of How to Read Your Cat's Mind, cats won't live in an unhappy home. They'll just walk out. So they're not going to depend on their owners. But it doesn't mean that they don't want to be around their owners. This shows that they really do. Angela will leave if she's unhappy.
I can't be with you. Every time I look in your eyes, I see Sprinkle's stiff, lifeless body.
She isn't willing to compromise on anything, even if true love is at risk. But this means that when she does at last come around, she's with Dwight because she fully wants to be, without any doubts or festering hidden resentments. This cat psychology also explains why Angela lies to Dwight that he's not Philip's father. She needs her relationships to be based on both parties truly wanting to be there.
I just needed you to want to marry me because you wanted to marry me.
The cat person is deeply private and equally proud.
Everyone will know our business.
That's not the worst thing in the world.
A combination that can be hard on the people they love.
It won't be that bad. Look at Kelly and Ryan.
I hate those two people more than anything in the entire world.
This mix of qualities also makes it very easy to misunderstand a cat person. Angela doesn't encourage people to see her point of view.
You think I want people remembering I had sensual relations with Andy? It's the kind of thing you wish you could have annulled. I want to throw up just thinking about it.
Office viewers, too, are likely to read Angela as mean or heartless in situations where, if we look closer, she's hiding a lot of pain.
Oh, and here are 4 idiots who'll do nothing but weigh you down. Oh, and your cat's still dead.
Cats are a long-time symbol of femininity, as we can see in the trope of the hypersexualized cat woman.
You poor guys, always confusing your pistols with your prides.
Cats and cat people are aware of the power in their feline attractiveness.
What a perfect idea.
Angela uses her beguiling sexuality to her advantage.
Angela, you had 2 sets of different men actually duel over you?
I guess I have.
She even plays with her prey, dangling her relationship with Andy in front of Dwight.
You may ask me out to dinner.
The close link with the feminine has led to misogynistic vilification of cats.
Shut up, you feline fruity!
Cats have been used as a symbol of otherness. They can represent that loneliness of feeling like you don't belong.
I stayed away from people. I lived alone.
The cat person has a compelling aura of mystery. The cat has often been perceived as a familiar spirit to witches.
Such a pretty kitty.
And in numerous horror stories, cats can symbolize the conscience, reminding characters of bad things they've done, just as Angela is more than happy to visit judgment on her coworkers for their sins, real and, more often, imagined.
I am not like you. Walking around in your provocative outfits, saying whatever thought pops in your head.
There is a duality present in cats and Angela that can feel contradictory. They can be saccharine, yet sinister, as cute as they are cold.
In the Martin family, we like to say, looks like someone took the slow train from Philly. That's code for check out the slut.
And the cat person has a dark side.
Okay, so everything you need to know about the target is in here.
So what's the job?
Murder.
They're merciless when they perceive they're dealing with a weaker animal.
I thought you said green was whorish.
No, orange is whorish.
Angela enjoys the power trip of leading the party planning committee and uses it to assert dominance over lesser beings.
A Christmas drinking game.
Yes. God help you.
What?
These are all terrible ideas.
Undeniably arrogant, the cat person has trouble admitting they're wrong.
And I've already told you the official position of Dunder Mifflin is apologetic, so I don't know what you want from me.
They don't suffer fools or ridiculous opinions.
I'm more of a dog person.
The smaller, more quirky cliches about cats are also true of cat people. Just as the animal is famously curious,
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
Angela's not above sticking her whiskers in other people's business.
Pam is the office mattress.
She's full of catty insults.
Spoons have rounded tops and are used to scoop things.
But despite these flaws, the cat person's reputation for true villainy is generally unfounded.
Certain events have transpired, and I've thought about certain things, and I'm sorry for the way those certain events transpired.
The first step toward getting along with a cat person is, don't take their behavior personally. Because cats were domesticated relatively recently compared to, say, dogs, cat behavior expert Tom McNamee says we must treat them like wild animals. To demonstrate respect for their sovereignty, asking to approach cats is the best way to go. Don't assume that social rules that work for most people will fly with the cat person.
So I Googled how to deal with difficult people. So how do you feel about the fact that the banner says lunch?
I feel angry. Angry at you. Angry at you for doing something stupid.
It can seem as though no matter what you do, you can't please a cat. And it's the same with the cat person.
Since my little lady has such particular impossible to perceive taste, I have made non-refundable deposits at 4 totally different wedding locales.
They know what they like, but unless you know them very well, what they like can be difficult to gauge.
Dangerous, tacky, sharks, haunted.
Although they often appear aloof, cats and cat people thrive on affection. It's just that they save their fun, playful side for a select inner circle.
I do play games. I sing, and I dangle things in front of my cats. I play lots of games, just not at work.
Having to earn the cat's trust is a huge part of what makes a relationship with them appealing.
A dog is very easy to break, but cats make you work for their affection. They don't sell out the way dogs do.
Once the cat person warms to you, know that this is a privilege they don't bestow lightly on a lot of people. Because cats don't like humans to be forward, it can sometimes seem as though they make a beeline for people with no interest in them, even preferring the company of those who actively dislike cats over cat lovers. We see this in Angela's unusual eagerness toward Senator Robert Lipton, who turns out to be gay, and even in the way she pursues Dwight in periods when he seems to have moved on from her.
Extend the fingers more. Good.
This looks like a hoot.
Hey, Monkey, how you doing?
When carefully approaching, it's also worth remembering that cats are famous for self-protection.
Don't let pride ruin your whole life.
They will go to great lengths to hide fear, pain, or illness.
Well, I guess you needed the money more than me. Huh? Use it wisely.
Angela's standoffish nature hides a deep vulnerability.
I'm sorry about your cat.
And it takes a long time for this sensitive soul to let her guard down.
Why is she marrying Andy?
Angela's not really a risk taker, and Andy's not really a risk.
We can see this at play in her friendship with Oscar. Because of the hard front she puts up, for many years he doesn't even realize what close friends they've become.
Holy cow, look at what they're doing.
She's repositioning his hips for downward-facing dog.
I've heard of this. Dog style.
But when Oscar has an affair with the senator, she's more hurt by her friend's treachery than her husband's.
You can't have someone murdered.
What if they deserved it?
Whereas her marriage to Robert is short-lived and superficial, Oscar's betrayal cuts so deep because of how much her work pal has come to mean to her over the years as she's gradually opened up her real self to him.
You were supposed to be
be my friend!
I'm so sorry, Angela!
This episode illustrates that you should be very careful about crossing a cat person.
It has to be physical. I want this person to suffer.
And the cat person is known to hold a grudge.
I don't back down. My sister and I used to be best friends, and we haven't talked in 16 years. Over some disagreement, I don't even remember.
When Oscar finally asks her to move in with him so that she doesn't become homeless,
The county took my cats.
it's clear how much she needs him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go get Philip.
Even though the proud cat person will never admit how much she's struggling.
I don't need pity, and I don't need charity. I have my dignity, and that's enough.
Cats are a spiritual symbol of patience, and that's exactly what they demand of others.
Are you allowed to have pets?
Since the cat person isn't great at communicating their feelings, they might express stress or unhappiness through irritability, snappiness, and lashing out.
The thought of popping one of your beets into my mouth makes me want to vomit.
Still, once the cat person is won, she's incredibly loving and fervent,
Say bandit!
as well as physically affectionate. Angela's warmth comes through in her connection with the sister we meet, presumably another cat person, as the two even have their own language.
Prophylaxis, Brofax Wafine, and Bophylaxis.
Just as you might say most people don't speak cat and therefore can't access Angela's inner world. Recent academic research showed that secure attachment in cat-human bonds can surpass that of dog-human bonds, and even that of a bond between parent and child.
Without my cats, I am utterly and completely alone.
Angela, you still have your son.
I guess.
Keep in mind that the cat person may express her love in unconventional ways too. Though she can be mean to Phyllis and Pam on the surface, she shows her trust by letting herself be physically vulnerable with Phyllis, and reveals how much she values Pam by offering her the most precious thing in the world, a kitten.
I like having these little moments with you. You know what? Sprinkles recently had kittens. Oh, I would like to offer you the dominant male.
Get in touch with the wild animal within yourself, too.
Hey, monkey.
Part of the reason Dwight and Angela are so connected is that they relate to each other's primal physicality and instincts.
If you want a wolf, you have to trap it, and then you have to tame it. Keep it happy, care for it, feed it, lovingly, the way an animal deserves to be loved.
But for a long time, he doesn't grasp that she's specifically a cat.
Just encourages copycats.
Just say copies. Why do you have to drag cats into this?
And he doesn't get the way her cat mind works.
But not in your bed. It's lumpy.
Those lumps are cats, and those cats have names, and those names are Ember, Milky Way, Diane, and Lumpy.
Even if he twice likens himself to a big cat.
I'm somewhere between a snake and a mongoose. And a panther. I'm the lion.
Ultimately, Dwight is a farmer. He respects animals, but considers himself to be in charge of them.
My grandfather was told that Diamond Dancer would never race again.
Oh, whoa, girl, whoa, whoa.
So the idea of keeping a pet merely for the pleasure of its company is nonsensical to him. It takes years for Dwight to come around to the fact that the best relationships are not transactional.
I'm with Esther now. She's younger than Angela, sturdier, more comfortable with the scent of a manured field.
Famously, you can't herd cats. So the fact that this farmer falls for a cat, the one animal he thinks is worthless to a farm,
Cats do not provide milk or wool or meat.
represents that there's a complexity in Angela that evades his understanding, but ultimately captures his heart. Thus, in order to sustain your relationship with the cat person, you must develop your ability to grasp nuance. If you upset them, like Dwight does when he kills Angela's beloved cat Sprinkles,
Sprinkles' body was in the freezer where Dwight said he left her. But all my bags of frozen French fries had been clawed to shreds.
it may take a very long time before you're forgiven. 5 series worth of drama could have been avoided if he'd taken proper care to appreciate how passionately Angela loves her feline family.
You have your cats on nanny cam.
I am proud to announce that there is a new addition to the Martin family. She's hypoallergenic. She doesn't struggle when you try to dress her.
To love a cat person, or any person really, is to love what she loves, simply because it's an extension of her.
Her father was in Meet the Parents. Needless to say, she's very, very expensive.
Cat people can be hard work. They may push you away. They may test you to assess the strength of your feelings and how far you'll go to protect them. They may ask a lot while seemingly giving little back and doing whatever they feel like. But in the end, investing the time to decode the cat person's hidden feelings, to prove yourself, and to make them comfortable enough to share their goofy, devoted personality with you pays off. The relationship Dwight achieves with Angela is worth the wait.
This expresses how loudly I love you!
Proof that with patience and trust, the cat-human relationship can become unbreakable. When the cat person decides they love you, that bond is for life. Cat-human love can be so strong you feel like you'd do anything for them. And that's exactly how your cat likes it.
If you pray enough, you can change yourself into a cat person.
Those guys always turn back, Angela.
This video is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community we love, with thousands of classes taught by seasoned pros. Skillshare has a class on pretty much anything you could want. You can develop your creativity through a class on calligraphy, graphic design, or writing. You can learn to succeed in business with classes on how to make it as a freelancer, market a podcast, or become an Instagram influencer. You can use it to master new technology through classes on web design, coding, and data science, or you can bring that extra flair into your lifestyle, sharpen your knife skills, learn paper making, speak Spanish, or let Sara Boccaccini Meadows, a print designer and illustrator, teach you how to paint a botanical scene using watercolor and gouache. Right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers 2 months access to all their classes for free. Just click the link in the description below to check it out today.